YouTube.
Yes,
Okay. We're gonna- That's right. All right, sir. Steve, thank you for being here. All right, this is our special meeting. All right.
Let's stop that.
All right, no more of that right now. All right, so thank you all for being here. First of all, it's a special meeting with no invocation of pledge. Need to call our meeting to order, and that will be 6:02. All right, what's Nikki?
Bonnie.
Here.
Brad.
Here.
Jennifer. Here. Rob.
Here.
Faith. Here. Mike.
Here. All right, well, thank you, guys. Before we start, I do want to make sure that we've obviously, Emily, would you come up here and push the button up here? I know we're going to read this. This is our first reading in order to have the second reading on the 8th. But we want to first of all tell you folks back there, I commend you all in listening and putting a plan together that's more suitable and having these residents at least look at something that's different than was out there. I think there were major concerns with that. I appreciate the effort that you guys have made. Thank you guys back there for that and listening. I'm excited to still have some residential piece in there with a minimal impact of what we could do. So we thank you for being here. I know we're going to read this, but reading this, does anybody have any comments or questions or anything for Miss Emily here? You got a chance to see the adjustments, the whole new plan here. And so one of the things, Catherine mentioned something I want her to tell you about before we start that was important about this, that me and you talked about.
Just that we're doing the zoning restriction agreement. So that will be filed with that'll go in the chain of title, so to speak. So should, for some reason, this property get sold before all of this construction is completed, then the next owners would still have to comply with this. So by putting it in that title, and it reinforces that. I know sometimes in the past there's been restrictions. If you don't put it in the title, it usually gets lost. And then I don't think that would be the case here, considering that the builders currently own it. But we've done this before in the past, because if something happens and they don't build, and 10 years down the road, guess what? Everybody forgets about whatever restriction was placed on the property. So,
So this is part of the process with that, yeah. Oh, good.
I do have a question
Yes.
after Catherine's
Oh.
finished.
I'm done.
Okay. Do the residents in that area know your new plans? Have they seen them?
Yes,
Did you all-
we mailed out the letter I sent you all and the revised plan to all the adjoining property owners, and then I also got in contact with Don Miles and sent him the plan and asked him to go ahead and share it with whoever he.
And he did. He put it on Facebook. I didn't
perfect.
see it.
Yeah, so and we didn't hear anything back from the public on that. So
Okay.
and from
I got several emails.
Okay.
And calls.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you want to add anything to that, Faith? Anything
No,
emails?
I just wanted to know if you all sent a letter to
Yeah,
them.
we did, just explaining why we didn't have to, we tried to coordinate a meeting time, but we couldn't, so, gave them my contact information, the revised plan, and told them, please feel free to reach out if you want to discuss anything.
Okay.
Let me
thank
go to
you.
Rob real quick first and then Bonnie.
Well, that was one of my questions was,
Oh,
if you had got to meet with them or if you're going to before the deadline.
We did not have time to coordinate a meeting time before this meeting or before the 8th meeting, because I know that was important for you all, as we discussed last
So you
meeting.
got no response back from anything that you sent to the,
No, I haven't gotten any response back.
And then my other question was, how does this affect the cost of the townhouses?
That's on the developer. They looked at the plan and they saw that they could, with the development costs needed, they could build the 7 proposed single-family homes.
and these are single family homes versus
Yeah,
what we
single-family
saw.
homes, and, obviously they are aware of the demographic in that area and what the houses are going for in that area, so I would assume it would be something similar to that.
Yeah, I don't see you trying to develop something to lose money. I mean, I'm kind of joking, but I mean, I get it that you looked at what you had originally for the numbers that you had for the townhomes that you were building and in the area that you had to do what you did now. Obviously, the math worked out that you were able to do that and financially be okay. So it's just apples and oranges between those two things.
Right.
All right. And we have 3 people here, and I don't know, are you part of the group that got the notices? No. Okay, so I want to make sure, because we talked to the folks, and especially Don, because Don has been a big spokesman for the residents being concerned. And so, do you know what this is going to be?
We were just told through Facebook from Don Miles that it's now turned into 5 homes on Oak Grove and 2 homes on Beach Grove.
Okay, So there's
That's
7.
all we know.
Okay, well, and again, we just want to get that information out. A lot of this is based on time, and we're trying to have another meeting. I think the transparency piece is that they send something to everybody, and sending it to Don really keeps the transparency piece in it. We want to make sure that you guys at least heard about it, get your thoughts in place, but this is a total transformation of what that project is gonna be. I mean, it's really different. And I'm excited for at least that part, because it changes dynamics, it still, the traffic impact is not there. Yeah, the aesthetics are there, and you're not gonna have a water runoff issue, not with those 7 houses. Not what you would have versus what you would have had in the original plan of concerns. First of all, the traffic and the water, where it would have gone. I think that was the biggest concern. So we wanna make sure, listen, you're here, we don't mind listening to you, cause it's part of this whole thing is we wanna hear voices, but we wanna make sure that you know that we've gotten good information, and we appreciate what they did to put this together. I mean, it really is showing that there's a relationship between the developer and the residents that are currently there. So I want you to know that, okay? And you guys were here, we thank you for being here, okay?
And just to add, the lot sizes for the homes being proposed are the exact same size as everything in that area, so it'll look very cohesive with the area.
All right, Emily, I forgot Bonnie.
Oh, hey Bonnie.
Thank you to the developers for changing your plans, and I appreciate that very highly. That does go a long way, it means a lot. The residents that reached out to me after the new plans, they were asking about HOA. Are you all gonna have an HOA of your own?
I don't know if they've determined that yet.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Okay,
And
All
that's,
right. That was one of their questions on Beach Grove. Okay, I think they will like that from the ones that I talked to, that they will like it. The other questions were on flood, but I've already seen what's going on with flood, so I know that that's being done properly. I just want to thank y'all for
Yeah, thank you.
everything and listening to us. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Did he say that they would become, those 5 would become part of the existing HOA?
Yes.
He said they would like,
Yeah,
he said they would
so,
like
yeah.
to be.
Would like
So-
And there's some legal issues
Yeah.
that they're gonna have to figure out amongst themselves. I mean, for one, it's gonna be dependent upon those HOA documents. I think there's a whole process that HOA is gonna have to do, assuming that they can annex that property in, they're gonna have to vote. I mean, it's a whole, and that's gonna be between them. They're just saying that they would like to. So it
That's a
sounds like
personal
they're willing
preference,
to work with the HOA. Sounds like the HOA would like them to be. But that's gonna have to be a private, the city cannot get involved in that part. That'll have to be a
Well,
private decision and contractual issues between
Yeah,
them.
the concern I had when I was adding a garage to my property, I researched the plat and the deed, okay? And on one of those, it stated that the contractor, the developer, a lot of them, when they build a subdivision or homes, they automatically set up an HOA, at which point then it's up to the neighborhood whether they want to continue it or not. So if, the thought that goes through my head is that if those 5 homes are built and included in that, then it becomes,
Yeah.
part of it.
But you can't,
So it's not an
what
individual choice.
what Catherine's telling you, you can't do that, because that's its own entity, that's its own property, this is a separate property. If they feel like, if the people don't, you don't know who's gonna own those homes. So you're obligating them to something that they may not want, so you can't do that. So what has to happen is, they would put an HOA just to make sure those 5 houses are consistent, but they're building all 5.
Right.
A lot of times when you have a subdivision, you might have different builders.
Right.
You put an HOA in place, so they build it 2,200 feet.
Right.
First floor. You make sure the materials are right. You do all that stuff on the front end. Any existing does it because there's so many builders. They're the only builders. They're gonna build all their houses the same materials and all consistency.
Yeah.
It'll be up to the people that live there if they see a benefit in being part of that subdivision. And I hope it all works out, but who's gonna, I mean, again, we always talk about that. You can't force them, and the cities can't base their decision on something we can't
Well,
control.
the city can.
Well, the builders can decide to go ahead and enter into that agreement before anybody
Right.
buys the homes.
But
But that's gonna be between the city, or I'm sorry, between
You.
the builder
Builders.
and the current
That's what
home, the current HOA. And it's gonna depend, I mean, they're gonna have to have their own lawyers because it changes deed
I'm just-
paperwork, title paperwork, but it sounds like that is their desire.
Okay.
And it's definitely the desire of the HOA, so it's just gonna be a matter of their attorneys figuring out the
We
legalities.
just can't be involved in that. I'm just getting
The
at.
developer of Oak Grove, he put something on Facebook asking if the 7 homes would be part of Oak Grove, which 2 of them will not be, right? The other 2 will have an Oak Grove address? Yes. Then because he developed Oak Grove, he said that people back there need to come to you all and say they definitely would like those 5 to be in the HOA. But again, I mean,
Yeah.
he's the developer and he might not know all the legals in and out, but he might too.
Yeah, it would
And
just
I
be.
could tell you, can I say his name out loud?
Yeah.
It was Richard Miles, if you know who he is.
Yeah, we've been talking with him as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talked with him about having access on Oak Grove with the fence and everything, so we were discussing the plat that was recorded for those estates, the HOA restrictions, stuff like that, so.
Okay.
That's something we can discuss with their HOA attorney, and then like Catherine said, going through the
Yeah,
steps
I
of
just
them
need a council,
annexing
I need
that
a council to
property.
understand that you cannot mandate that, and for all of you guys, just make
Well,
sure.
And I have a question on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
If they join the HOA, then the buildings would have to follow the HOA. Would that change?
That
Would
would
you
be-
all follow the HOA on this design?
No, I mean, I don't think we took that into account.
Because it
Yeah.
could possibly change it.
Well, they
Yeah.
already spoke to the developer and he said they were fine. I mean, he even told me that.
There's
The restrictions aren't very
But they were
long
getting
from
there.
what I looked at, so I don't,
Okay.
and they're the same lot sizes as the ones in Oak Grove Estates, so
Okay.
they didn't have
The
like any.
yards and the.
Yeah, they didn't have like a lot of architectural requirements either, so I don't
Yeah.
think it's something that would impact that, but
Okay.
we can.
But
get
that's
with the
between
HOA.
you and that,
Yeah,
and
that
that,
we would
and
get-
that group,
yeah.
yeah.
As long as it doesn't change what the plan we're voting on.
So-
because
No.
that-
No,
We
that,
could-
that has nothing to do with us, the HOA
Yeah.
has nothing to do with that. What we wanna do is, do we like the idea of houses being there, and does it fit what's going on in that neighborhood, and then the traffic impact? That's our biggest issues, and obviously water, right? That's how we have to make that decision, or you guys have to make that decision. All right, well, first of all, I do wanna thank you for all that, and I wanna make sure, is there any other questions? Brad, do you have anything? Rob, everybody else good? Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
The properties between the homes and Oak Grove, is that still going to be maintained by the management company that does it for the HOA
Yeah.
now, or
Well, I mean, whoever,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that doesn't.
Malloy Properties still
Malloy?
would take care of it.
Yeah, so, I mean, my thought is, if the management company's gonna take care of it, then they do it for the people that are in the HOA. It's what, $35 a year? They said the fees were, I mean, that's,
Well-
yeah,
I would assume that the easement now gets put on the homeowner, like they would, whoever driveway, whoever buys the yard.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah, and
easement now goes to them.
And that can be something that they have in discussions with being annexed in the HOA,
Yeah.
dedicating
Right.
that, like, portion that the sign's in as open space with the plat that they
Yeah,
annex. and
yes,
something like that.
that's still Malloy.
Yeah,
Jennifer, I don't think you were asking, I don't think that whether they have to build these houses consistent with any HOA regulations, which it sounds like there's probably not, a lot, in terms of the building specs, but whether the council decides to rezone it to this, and how the HOA regulations are, they're not,
It's not gonna.
it's not gonna affect it.
Okay.
You guys are just saying
I'm
you
just
can build
making sure.
single-family homes, and there can be
7.
no more than 7
On the one,
on this 1.22 lot.
okay.
And it sounds like, based on what we've heard, that these builders are really gonna work with the HOA, the previous developer. It sounds like they want to be good neighbors, so I get the sense, I could be wrong, I just get the sense that it's going to be, more of a smooth transition than a rough one,
Yeah.
based on what they've already wanted to do.
If following the HOA doesn't change.
It
this.
doesn't, no,
Okay.
no, it would not.
Okay, 2 more questions. One for you. Can you give me the cost of the new units, by next meeting? So-
yeah, like the proposed sales price of the homes?
Yes.
Yeah, I can get with them and see if they have those numbers. It's, you know, obviously they're not gonna propose a number that's not gonna work with their business.
Right.
So I'll see if they have those numbers by the next meeting, by next Monday.
Would you email them to all the council?
Yes.
Thank you.
And then for Catherine, we'll have to have a second reading on the other one regardless, right?
On the other one, what?
The other,
The other ordinance, the overriding?
yep.
Not necessarily. Faith introduced that, so I was gonna talk to Faith after the meeting to see where she stood on that. But no, you all could, the council or Faith could just request to,
Have it withdrawn.
table that and definitely, or withdraw it
But
altogether.
does she need to do that during this meeting, or?
No,
No.
no, that can be at the next meeting.
Okay.
So, yeah, we don't have to because you're putting this, you're establishing what's happening to that property now. This is what the first reading is today and get it done. They're doing it for deadline purposes, but we're doing it to set what's gonna be happening in that property. What you-
But you're right, we will need to do something with that ordinance. We
Right.
can't just leave it
Right.
hanging
It'll
out
be-
there.
Yeah, they'll,
So,
I mean, you all could vote on it if you
we could
wanted,
put it on
but
the agenda.
It could
and
be
then
withdrawn. Yes.
if- That way, if one doesn't,
It
pass,
should be on
then
the
the other one.
agenda.
Yeah.
It should be on the agenda, and you all, I'll talk to Faith, but the council can do whatever. It does need to be addressed. Either she withdraws it, table it indefinitely, or if the council says, okay, we just wanna take a vote, so that way it's very clear. Either which way, but it will need to be addressed, you're right.
yeah, good. Anything else? All right. Ms. Catherine? Oh, do you have anything else, Ms. Jones?
Yeah, and I was only wondering, cause it says we approved the recommendations of the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission, but they approved 19 townhomes.
Well, technically, they just approved it to be R3.
Right.
Okay.
They didn't say like,
And they didn't put any
Townhomes.
the only restriction that they put on, which I included, was about the FEMA
Okay.
material placed on the FEMA, so we adopted that specifically. But all they did not say that it had to be 19 townhomes or 18. They just basically said, we approve this being rezoned from R1 to R3.
Okay, so, when they presented their plan and everything.
That just gives them a
doesn't
guide.
matter.
They're not locked
Okay.
in. Unless the planning commission says you are restricted to building 19 townhomes,
Yeah.
they could have changed their plan between.
and then we would have had to go back to the planning commission to request
Yes.
that revision if they had
Yeah,
that.
so the reason they're not having to go back to the planning commission and say, hey, we're only gonna do 7, is because the planning commission said, we don't care really what you build, you can build R3.
Okay.
The city is being more restrictive. Anything else? We're ready to
All right, Ms. Catherine?
Read, please.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025030, an ordinance amending the Bullitt County City zoning order and the Bullitt County City zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of 1.22 acres more or less located at 800 Beech Grove Road in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037C0001001, from R1 residential to R3 residential, sponsored by Councilmember Bonnie Enlow. Summary, Section 1 sets forth that the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission held a public hearing on June 12, 2025, docket number 2025Z-27, and recommended that the Bullitt County City zoning order and the Bullitt County City zoning map be amended to change the zoning of 1.22 acres more or less located at 800 Beech Grove Road, also known as parcel 037C0001001, hereinafter subject property, from R1 residential to R3 residential. Section 2 sets forth that the City Council had its own public hearings on July 14, 2025, and August 11, 2025, hereinafter public hearings. Section 3 sets forth the following findings of fact made by the City Council based upon the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearings. 1, that the subject property's future land use zoning classification is medium-density residential, consistent with the community's vision for preserving neighborhood character, and 2, that the 2045 Bullitt County Comprehensive Plan sets forth the medium-density residential criteria for intended land uses, and 3, that the subject property consists of approximately 1.22 acres, and 4, that the applicant's proposed plan attached hereto as Exhibit A to build 7 single-family homes on the subject property meets the criteria for medium-density residential and is compatible with the density of adjacent residential parcels, and 5, that the proposed zoning classification of R3 is consistent with the 2045 Bullitt County Comprehensive Plan and future land use map. Section 4 sets forth the City Council's decision to approve the recommendation of the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission to amend the Bullitt County City zoning order and the Bullitt County City zoning map, changing the zoning of the subject property from R1 residential to R3 residential with the following restrictions. 1, only single-family homes shall be built on the subject property. 2, no more than 7 single-family homes shall be built on the subject property. 3, any additional material placed in the FEMA-regulated floodplain shall be mitigated at a 1-to-1 ratio regardless of FEMA requirements. Section 5 sets forth that the Bullock County City zoning order and the Bullock County City zoning map shall be amended to rezone the subject property from R1 residential to R3 residential. Section 6 sets forth the severability clause. Section 7 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 8 sets forth the publication requirements.
All right, so that's our first reading, and we'll have our second reading on September the 8th.
Thank you guys so much for your time on this. I really appreciate it.
No, listen, we appreciate, again, everybody, yes.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
I didn't know when I could speak, but
Oh,
I'm concerned about overall, they don't know the cost of the individual houses and to the HOA. So if the two houses in the front aren't in an HOA, no restrictions other than the city, are they gonna turn into dumps? We had this happen and we have an HOA
so
that is enforced.
I can tell you that there are HOAs that I've seen that do just a really, not a very good job of taking care of it. That's part of the enforcement piece, and it's not an easy job. I've been the president of a homeowners before, in Louisville, and we took people to small claims for not paying just their annual fees, much less just take care of their property. So what you have to do is, it's the expectation. We have a code enforcement. You know how much, we added another person just to go around and get people just to take care of the property. The problem you run into is when you rent them. That's a problem.
That's a huge problem.
It's a problem, and there's one subdivision that's really bad on Beech Grove Road a little further down, that you can see it. So those are things that we gotta pay attention to, but we as a city, we will do our very best to keep those standards up. It's a time and, effort to get out to everyone, but, let us know. We have a code enforcement, you can go right through, City Works.
We're trying to prevent what has happened in our small community,
Sure.
and back there from becoming a more issue. and
Well, I can,
having-
yeah, so if you think about what they were gonna build originally, and the fact that, again, they're not gonna build anything they're not gonna make money with it, and the material cost, you're gonna have a pretty nice home built. Even if they don't give you a number, that's not that's included in planning and zoning, okay? It's not to tell you what size of house you gotta build, it tells you you can build houses, and then through the designs and things that the council sees, they'll make decisions that they think, but they don't, that's not even in their purview to do that. But it's the idea of building something that fits in that area, and that's what I think the council is more concerned with, is they look at what's gonna be built there for the 7 homes. It fits already what they see back there, the yards are the same size, so those things are gonna fit into that neighborhood. Now, what somebody does after they buy it, that's up to them, and then whatever we can do to make sure that we hold them up to a standard, that's it. I mean, fearful of that.
With the two homes not having to be part of the HOA, that's where it's gonna come into a problem.
Well, shame on somebody spending that kind of money, letting a place go down like that. But it happens, and it does happen. But again, at that point it becomes how you take care of what they do on their property. We have certain things that we have to be obligated to, we'll be watching it. We'll be watching. You just report that through City Works. You let us know when you see something and somebody's not maintaining it, we will get after it. I mean, that's just something you can't control, and neither can they. That's
And
not,
the city does take action. We've actually
yeah.
filed liens. I mean, we have recorded liens. We actually have 2 cases in court over
Yeah.
code enforcement. I mean, in our circuit court. So the city is trying to be more proactive than what I think maybe it's been in the past. And the other thing you gotta remember is it's R1 right now. Somebody could build a home there and let that become trashy too, and there would be nothing. So, if you start thinking about that, and who knows, maybe as they discuss, maybe for some reason those other 2 homes would or could be in the HOA. It sounds like the discussions are very early on, and that, the builders and Emily, they're open to those discussions. So I would just encourage your HOA president or attorney to get with them and start that dialogue.
it's really a shame that some of that happens with all the hard work you put into buying a place, so that it go like that. But people do. We see it all the time. We don't want their money. We don't want their property. We want you to clean it up. And I can tell you that this administration, over the last 2 years and 8 months, we've done a whole lot of that. We've got more money than we really wanted to collect for that. We're using that money for manpower to get back out there and find more people who go, look, we just want you to clean your property up.
Right.
And some of that's a little more challenging than you think.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
took
out there.
us- We had a fire in one of our buildings, and it took us 4 years to get one owner to clean his place up and to fix it after that fire. It left the whole backside exposed, and he just ran that.
Oh, my goodness.
And it took 4 years to get that.
It's interesting what we've seen over the last couple of years as
Oh,
far as,
yeah.
and some things like that, and I don't blame anybody for being apprehensive of it. There's accountability piece that you'll see the city do its part, and the owner has to do their part. Okay, well, thank you for your comments, I appreciate that. Listen, we appreciate the concerns. You know, everybody's neighborhood, we wanna keep it nice, because it's our value of our homes, we want everything to look nice.
That's our main concern is the value of ours.
Well, we're working on that piece, I can assure you, and again, you can always call the office and let me know if you got a property that you're concerned about, okay? You're very welcome. All right. Emily, thank you again. Yeah,
One more question, I'm sorry. They have to build sidewalks, correct?
should be,
I think there's sidewalks.
yeah, the sidewalks is included in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll double check
Anytime
the
that,
plan.
any resident has a sidewalk piece.
That's Beech Grove and Oak Grove?
So I don't know what's up, looking
think
at,
it's on-
I don't have the diagram.
Yeah, I don't have the plan printed out. I don't think it would be on
The
Beech Grove.
Beech Grove,
But
no,
I think it would be on Oak Grove.
Beech Grove has it on the other side of the road, it's
Yeah.
that little skinny one.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, Faith? Mike, you good? Down there, Mike? Good?
I've just got one little issue here. And
Okay.
I like consistency. And I don't know how this would affect the developers, but I had a call into Jeremy today. I haven't got a response from him. Same with Arthur. I haven't had a response from him. Is that for several years, the planning commission has been pushing the, what they call them, mitigation. Typically, it's almost consistently been 1-to-1. I'm now seeing some that are 1.5-to-1. And they said that is what the county has been pushing and would like to continue with. So I don't know whether that, how would that affect
The one-to-one
this?
was put on by Jeremy. That restriction
Right.
was added by Jeremy, so.
Yeah, so like I said, I had a call into him to find out if that was, you know, what they want to do, if it's on an individual basis or what, you know, because, like I said, I'm being told that 1.5-to-1 is what the planning commission and the county would like to see
I don't think there's
in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a certain requirement right now, and that's why Jeremy put the one-to-one on. We didn't initiate that, so he would obviously give you more background on what his thought process was on the one-to-one, but that was something that he put on his own, so.
Yeah, I don't think that area is a concern.
I looked at the flood.
Yeah,
I looked at, yesterday I looked at all the flood mapping on there, and I don't see where there's gonna be any problem with it.
It's all in the
Because it's
back.
all towards the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Mike, appreciate it.
That's
Bonnie,
fine.
anything else? Anybody?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Rob.
Thank you guys so much for your
All
time.
right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Emily.
You all
Miss
didn't have
Nikki?
any other questions, did you?
Yeah. Ms. Nikki? roll call.
All right. Rob,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Mike.
Yes.
All right, thank you all, have a good evening. Steve?
We're off by 6 minutes, Rob.
Right on.